for you is the first one, which is the better between ICO, IEO, and STO.
Okay. So let's understand what ICOs are, and then of course the two variants of it, the STOs and the IEOs. Now, ICO is an interesting method of raising capital. Generally, as I stated earlier, that one of the standard methods of raising capital is that any foreign direct investment coming into India, you issue what is called as a compulsory convertible preference shares or equity shares or convertible debentures, and then you report it to the government, and those kind of things can happen. You raise capital from global players. Obviously, this is a very stricter compliance method. It involves challenges around valuations and challenges around reportings. Yes, regulatory environment is needed, and the Startup India Action Plan has contributed massively in helping young entrepreneurs raise capital within India and outside India as well. Now, within the blockchain ecosystem, this entire methodology of how you raise funds has become very interesting. Why do I call it interesting? Given the fact that you can actually raise capital from any person in the world through a decentralized mode. Now, obviously, India currently does not deny raising capital through what is called an ICO, which is the initial coin offering. However, I would still say that yes, there is lots to be desired from a regulatory perspective. Rather, India has been not a vocal advocate of raising capital through unregulated modes. However, we feel that this thing will change in times to come. Currently, how to raise funds in an ICO is that you generally go to a more crypto-friendly jurisdiction. There are lots of these jurisdictions coming up, like Wyoming in US. UK has come up with its own crypto regulatory frameworks. Australia is there. Singapore is coming up with an exchange licenses and registering exchanges. So there is good development going on in the regulatory framework. Now, per se, more specifically speaking about ICO or the initial coin offering, is that think of your project, try to tokenize that project, break that project into smaller parts, and then offer these parts to global investors who then become part of your project. Now, ideally, making global people part of your project opens up lots of opportunities for you, because you might be building, say, something in, say, cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity is still a very upcoming field in India. You might find an investor in, say, Israel, which is far more developed in cybersecurity for that matter. And to get the funds from an Israeli investor to India is slightly sort of challenging in the traditional way. However, it opens up lots of opportunities in case you are raising funds through an ICO or through similar modes like STO and IEO. I still feel that while the other two options, the STO, the security token offering, and the IEO, the initial exchange offerings, are slightly more complicated. The law is yet to be sort of charted out in those fields. But ICO is, per se, in very simple terms, raising capital in digital currency against issuance of your own token for a utility token. Now, what is utility? Utility primarily means there's an international test called the Howey test, and utility tokens primarily mean a methodology wherein you give up your part of the company without any investment or without any security interest. That's an ICO for the utility part of the token. Now, we feel that yes, in times to come, the regulatory frameworks for ICOs will get developed. However, as an entrepreneur in India or in any other developing world, it does make a case for raising capital from global investors using jurisdictions like I stated earlier, Wyoming, UK. There are other jurisdictions that allow ICO based fundraisers. Those kind of jurisdictions would enable you currently, and in times to come, we expect India to also upgrade the regulatory framework for raising capital through digital tokens against issuance of your own tokens. The entire process is online. The regulatory framework is not sort of more or less being developed, so it'll take some more time. But this is an alternative way of raising capital from global investors. And this mode we expect is more sort of crowdfunding based. It is more open. It is more transparent. You can validate the transactions on the blockchain for the ICOs that are done. Yes, there have been some challenges in the past pertaining to people sort of raising capital and then not delivering the promised projects, but there are always bad players in the industry. So as long as your intentions are clear, currently the only method is to self-govern your project, then go forward, start issuing your own tokens, and against that, develop a clear trail of the investments, build world-class products from India, and there's lots of opportunities and lots of global investors willing to invest in your project. Of course, one of the most popular, by far rather, the most popular ICO ever done was the Ethereum project that was initiated by Vitalik Buterin. Post that, we've seen lots and lots of Tron and many other digital assets following the route of ICOs and then validating and building world-class businesses. I feel that one of the world-class businesses coming from India is not very far off. People will be able to raise capital through the ICO mode by global investors and then build world-class products. And just to sort of mention the difference between ICO, IEO, and STO, STO I think will take a bit more time. STO is security token offering, wherein you give the ownership right of your company as well to the people who are investing. Currently, that is under scrutiny from a global security laws perspective. And IEOs is when you sort of build an exchange, and out of the exchange, it is already established, and then you offer your tokens through a developed project which is already there in the domain. So most of you will fall in the categories of ICOs. It is still work in progress from regulatory perspective, but it has lots of good use cases that you can consider for raising capital for your company.